Hey, Sassy. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, girl. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I didn't get to come back yesterday because I ended up being busy all evening, which was a good thing though, because we were with family. I was with family yesterday, celebrating the Easter holiday, celebrating Resurrection Day. So, we got together, and I was glad that I ended up spending a lot of time with them, because sometimes you don't know how much you miss your family until you guys get back together. Like, you don't realize how much you miss your family until you guys get back together. So, yeah, we got together. We cut up. We had fun. We fussed. We fussed with each other. That same old, that fussing where you're like, where you been? Why you never come around? That kind of stuff. Hey, Betty. Hey, Retirement Days. How are you? Good evening. Hey, over 50 and fabulous. Hey, Lynn. How are you? How are you doing? Yeah, I'm fooling my friend today. Y'all hearing barking? I'm coming from the opposite direction. I'm coming from the opposite direction, but he still caught me. I know, Sassy. Yes, family fun. Family fun. Family fun. I haven't um I haven't been outside today, so I don't know how the pollen is. It wasn't that much in my driveway, and it wasn't that much on the cars, but I still bring this mask because that pollen tears me up. How you doing? So, yeah, yep. The people wonder why I have this. I had this before the pandemic because during the spring it just really bothers me. See, that's how it was. Mess with your back. It didn't bother me growing up either. It's rough. It's rough. It's rough on you. Left out. I've been waiting on you. I'm Sassy. It's getting so. The day got by me. The day got by me. Like I was off today, so I did some cleaning and washed my hair, did some cleaning, and that's pretty much it. Have y'all had days like that? Betty, Lynn, Sassy, have you guys had days like that? Like where it's like you didn't do much, but all of a sudden it's almost the end of the day. Gregory Burnett, who are you talking to? You better come in here respectful. I tell y'all trolls all the time. I like trolls, but I like nice trolls. Sassy says pollen this year is so bad. My allergies has been kicking my butt. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, it's awful. It's awful. Y'all, I see some more cactus. I see somebody else with a cactus. There are quite a few cactuses around here. I only um I only had one neighbor that I knew of with a big cactus tree. And then I saw the other one that I showed y'all the other day. Now I see somebody else has cut one down. Girl, it's the spring. And imagine those people who have allergies year round. Oh my goodness. Some people have spring allergies, they have summertime allergies, and they have fall allergies. And a lot of those people that I talk to, they tell me that the easiest time is winter. The easiest time is winter. Gregory says, K practice. Gregory, where are you from? I don't know that flag. What flag is that? Is that India? Where's what flag is that, Gregory? Well, oh my gosh, it's the worst. The spring though, For the most part, most people tell me that spring is the worst. But because of the tree, all the tree, and it's not just pollen. There are a lot of other allergens as well. That float around during the spring and give people trouble. And then in the summertime, you get that the grass allergens. And I think, when is ragweed? Is it like summer or fall? When the ragweed starts to cut up, I think it's during the summer, early fall. Suriname. Sassy says, bless their hearts. I only experience it during springtime. Oh my gosh, yes, yes. That's when it is for me, Sassy. I pray not to have to deal with it any other time of the year. I hope to be allergy symptom free the rest of the year, the other 3 seasons. Because when I tell you the fall, the spring, oh my gosh, it's something else. It is something. Hey, Spiky. Welcome into the live, Spiky. Welcome all of you into the live, all 29 of you. It was 39. What y'all doing? Why y'all leaving? I want y'all to get up and walk. I want y'all to get up and walk. I want you to get up and bike. I want you to get up on get on your treadmill. I want you to get up and do something. There's a man right now walking towards me. He's walking for exercise, and he's on a cane. He's on a cane. So he's on a cane. So he's limited. His mobility is limited. But guess what? He's up and he's walking around. His mobility is limited, but he's up and he's walking around, and that's a good thing. And thank you guys all for coming into this live, walking and talking with me on this Monday for a minute. We're going to walk and talk Monday for a minute. For a minute. Sassy says, hey, Spiky. Spiky says, hello, Sassy. Spiky, how was your Did you upload videos, Spiky? I haven't gotten any notifications. But y'all know I said I got to get better about that. Because just because I haven't gotten any doesn't mean you guys haven't uploaded any videos. How was the concert, Spiky? Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. How was everybody's Easter? What did you guys do? Did you visit? Did you go to church? Did you visit family? Did you do both? Did you just, spend some you time? Did you just spend some time alone? What did you do on yesterday, on Resurrection Day, on Easter Day? What did you do yesterday? Did you just chill out around the house? Did you go to church services via the internet? Did you go to church services via the TV? Because there are a lot of churches who still say that the number of attendance is down because people just hadn't gotten back into the rhythm of going to church, going inside the actual church. So many people, they may go everywhere else, but they don't go to church. And, I don't think it's that they don't want to go. I just think the convenience of online services. Some people say that their church records on Facebook. So you have people who attend their church via Facebook. Their churches have websites. Some people they say that they have online services through Facebook or YouTube, or they have their own websites and they just, they stream online. So some people have gotten used to not going into the building and they're going to church via the internet, basically. Now, I've talked to people who say they only go via the internet when they just absolutely can't make it because they say it's just not quite the same. And of course, we know what everybody says. You don't have to actually go to church. You don't actually have to go. Church is within. You can have church in your home. Sometimes I often wonder if people just say that because they don't go. I wonder if people just say that because they don't go, and that's the cute thing to say. You know, because at the end of the day, if you go to work, if you go everywhere else and anywhere else that you truly desire to go, then you will go to church as well. So I don't go all the time. I go, but not all the time. But I don't just use that, well, the church is in your heart. That is true. But I don't use that as my rationale for not going. I don't use that as my rationale for not going. Because sometimes things start to become like excuses. And sometimes I'd rather just someone say or tell me they just don't go. Because some people don't go. Some people don't go to church. It doesn't mean that they aren't believers. They just don't go to church. Because sometimes, like people say, church is in your heart. But sometimes when you go to church, you have people at church who are there for different reasons. Hi, Dad. Welcome to the live. Hi, Lions Pride. You're so right. And how are you today? I'm good. How about you and your family? Hi, everyone in the chat. You uploaded clips, Spikey? Okay, I'm going to catch them. I'm going to go and watch them. Sassy says, girl, Dad, cooking up delicious. Hello. So I understand when people don't go, because they say that when they go, people treat church like it's almost like the club, some people, in the way that they dress, in the way that they act, just their demeanors are, just the whole vibe. They don't get what they feel like church should be. Now, I think then, and that comes the argument of, well, it's a new day, it's 2024, it's not 1984, so church doesn't have to be that old down home. That is true, but I don't care what anybody says. When it comes to church attire, casual does allow a lot more people to come into the church. But, some people take casual too far. That's just like going to school. If you're going to your child's PTA meeting, there's a proper attire that you should wear to a PTA meeting. So when you're going to church, yes, it is 2024. It's not 1984, but it still doesn't mean you go to church with every nook and cranny showing in the jeans that you would wear to a nightclub. People just want to do what they want to do. And they use any excuse to justify what they do. Gregory, I'm about to have to let you go, because I have no clue what you're talking about. Look, y'all, he ignored me. Oh my gosh, he looked at me, he barked and he turned his head. Something has his attention. Something else has his attention today. So he barked at me at first, then he turned his head. We're good. Thanks for asking. Hi, Sassy. Sassy, he ignored me today. He sees somebody across the street is doing something, so he has no time to bother me today. Not too casual. Right, girl, Dad. Like, I'm all for being casual, because, it's sad to think that back in the day, I won't say so much today, but back in the day, people would let the fact that they didn't have Sunday attire, prevent them from going to church. They wouldn't dare wear jeans into the church. And then I thought about it. I said, now, back in the 20s and 30s, you look at old images of our people, our ancestors, that, generations back, they didn't always have Sunday attire because they couldn't always afford it. They wore what they could, but they were covered up in the right way. So to be casual shouldn't be an issue, as long as you're casual and casual in the right way. Going into church with rim shorts on, booty shorts on, because you don't have any more, that's not going to get it. No more than that's going to get you going into a job interview dressed that way. With the rim shorts, the booty shorts, I'm talking about Daisy Duke ain't got nothing on these kind of shorts that people wear these days. Basically the bikini shorts, the panty shorts. When you wear that to church, you have to ask yourself, sorry about that, y'all. You have to ask yourself, would you wear this to a job interview? And that being said, it's amazing now what people wear to job interviews. Most job interviews have always, in my eyes, been Sunday attire to business casual, something like that. If you're going to go on a job interview, it should be anywhere from business casual to Sunday attire. You know, you may not have the best. Heck, you're looking for a job. You're looking for a job. So you may not have the perfect Sunday attire. Or you may not have, doesn't have to be Sunday attire, it could just be business. You may not have the perfect business suit or business dress. So, hey, just wear a nice skirt and a nice top and a nice pair of shoes. I'd even say a pair of tennis shoes. If that's all you have, you go in there with the right attitude and some knowledge of the company. A lot of times when people are employed or trying to hire, they understand your situation. They understand. A lot of times people understand that you've been out of work or that you may not be driving the fancy car when you pull up for a job interview. They know you need work. So, hey, go in there with a pair of khaki pants, something neutral, like military green, brown, beige, something like that. Maybe black for women, especially. They probably would prefer like maybe some black slacks. But if you have to, go in there with some jeans on. Go in there with a nice pair of jeans, not ripped jeans. A nice pair of jeans with a very nice top and tennis shoes even. But make sure that you have a good attitude and a good demeanor. You may find yourself walking out of there with a job. So that's how I look at church too. You can go to church with jeans on. You can go to church with a short skirt, with a short dress or skirt on. But because to me, there's a difference between short and too short. There's a difference between short and too short. And typically people know what's too short, but they do it anyway because I think the world we're living in right now, they're trying to make people, not the world, but the people in the world are trying to make this world a world of everything goes. Everything goes. Anything goes, everything goes, as long as it benefits them, as long as it's to their liking. So I've always thought that when it comes to church, when it comes to a job interview, when it comes to your job, because every job doesn't require a quote unquote uniform, but they want you to come dressed nicely. They want you to come nicely dressed. But people these days, they'll swear that you're discriminating against them because you simply want them to dress nicely at your place of employment. You have to remember that when you're going to a job, if you're not the owner, then you're at someone else's place of employment. And they have employed you. They're giving you a chance to make money, okay? So you gotta do as they say. You gotta do as they say. You can't even do as they do. You know how like a lot of times people are talking about the way some parents are raising their kids. They tell them not to do this and they tell them to do that. But then they don't set the example. They say, don't do A, B, and C. Do D, E, and F. Well, as parents themselves, the children see them do A, B, and C, and they don't see them do D, E, and F. So it's like, okay, most young minds are going to do as you do, not as you say. You tell them to do as you say, but they're going to do as you do. So as adults, sometimes we don't like to be told what to do, but sometimes people are telling you things to do to benefit you. Go to a job interview dressed appropriately. Stop writing all this. Have y'all noticed that some of the, like on social media, There are so many shortcuts to the way that you write words. Hey, Bams. Hey, Lions Love. Hey, Bams. Welcome to the chat. Have y'all noticed that on social media there are so many like shortcuts to the way that you write that when people do have to fill out, because sometimes you still do everything's not online. Sometimes you do have to like write. Sometimes you do actually have to write. Everything's not online. Like everything is not typed. And they sit there and they fill out an application. Say if the application has a question, where do you expect to be in 5 years? This is what you may see. I expect to be two, the number two, and the letter B, owning my own business because not BECAUSE, but BCUZ, because I can. Yeah, people will just, people are just, it's like, yes, it's 2024, but still have some tact about the way that you do things. Have some tact about the way that you carry yourselves in certain situations. You know, yes, they say come as you are at church. If you literally go to church with some rim shorts on, booty shorts on, please make that be because you absolutely had nothing else. You know, right, Vance, because I can. And so that's what they put on the application. And the person who's doing the hiring or who's looking at the application, they're like, well, if you could, you probably wouldn't be applying for this job. Like people always take offense to things when people tell them things. Y'all, people used to teach things like etiquette. Teach young ladies how to act, young men how to act. And those classes were some of the best classes around because some people really do go into interviews nowadays, and sometimes it's okay because guess what? Sometimes the people doing the interview, their tongue is no different. They go into the interview saying, "You feel me? I just came up in here because y'all had that sign out there. You feel me? Now what y'all gonna do? Is y'all gonna let me do? Y'all gonna let me work or not? Y'all gonna let me work or not?" and and if it's somebody who's about business, and if it's someone who has some type of professionalism to themselves, they're not gonna call you back. Yes, they have to sign up there saying that they're hiring or whatever, but they're not gonna call you back. The only way they're gonna probably call you back is if they just like have no staff. Sassy. The only way they're gonna call them back is if they just have no staff. Or if the hiring manager is just like the person they're interviewing. So they'll hire you. They might call you back then. And I'm talking about this isn't just for like professional jobs or I'd say take pride in any job that you apply for. It could be Burger King. It could be McDonald's. Take pride in any job that you apply for. And then, yeah, what's really funny is the ones who know how to do right. They know how to, converse. They know how to converse, how to carry a great conversation, how to ace the interview. But as soon as they get in the door, they do a 180. They're a totally different person. Y'all ever work with somebody like that? They fool the supervisor. They act like they're going to be professional about business. They just want to come there and make money and do their part to contribute to a successful business. And then they get in the door 2 weeks in, they're the ones sitting up on the counter like, what you want me to do it for? Why I always got to be on bathrooms? Bam says, this generation knows nothing about that, shaking my head. They really don't. And then when you try to teach them, they don't care to learn. Some of them will miss out. They can go to 10 job interviews and conduct themselves the same way. And you could say, hey, well, what are you doing in your interview? Like, what are you telling them in your interview? And they tell you some things that they're telling the people in the interview, and you say, well, okay, let's do this. Let's have some constructive criticism. And we're gonna role play. And I want you to do this. Okay, and you tell them some good things. Guess what? They can go to 2 jobs. If they don't get those 2 jobs after you talk to them, man, she didn't know what she was talking about. He don't know what he's talking about. No, a lot of times you got to go to 100 jobs before one calls you back. It just depends on your location, and it depends on the type of jobs that you're looking for. But I promise you, I guarantee you, if you go in talking away that street stuff, you know, they're definitely not going to call you back, depending on who it is. Now, if you go in and you're talking with a degree of intellect, they may not be hiring at the time, but for all you know, they may call you back in 2 weeks and say, hey, you know, at the time that you applied, we weren't really hiring, but we're always accepting applications. So we interviewed you. Now we do have an opening, and we expect you, we would like for you to come and get a second interview. And they'll never come back and say, you know what, the interview where you told me to answer like this, they called me back. They actually did call me back. They just feel like, and it's like Bam says, this generation. But I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. It's a lot of it is people 40 and up. I'll even say 35 and up. Because honestly, at 30, you should know how to conduct yourself at an interview. Unless you've been spoiled all your life and you've never had to interview, your parents have taken care of you, or a husband or a wife or somebody has taken care of you, and you've never had to, like my granddaddy used to say, hit a lick at a snake or hit a lick with a stick. If you've never had to do that, then maybe you don't really know how to interview. But I think most people have a degree of common sense, and you know that you don't go into any interview. I don't care where it is. It could be at your local gas station. Some slang is okay. Ain't, some stuff is okay. And some people you can't criticize the way they talk, because that's just the way they talk. That may have been the way that they were raised. It doesn't say that they're uneducated. That's just the way they talk, and it's hard to try to, flip it. It's hard to try and flip it. I would much rather interview somebody who uses, all that stuff that I'm saying. Still, I would much rather interview someone who uses slang than to interview someone who's trying to use big words and trying to present themselves to be something that they're not. Because a lot of times you can work with someone. It's not so much that the slang that gets me. It's just the attitude, the body language, and the demeanor. When I'm saying that stuff like, you feel me? I ain't this, not. No, I can't work with that. I can't work with that. Not at the job. Maybe after hours, I can, we can coach you into doing a better interview. But I can't work with that. But if you got somebody in there saying, yeah, I didn't do it, but I ain't got time to do it. It's a difference. There's a difference. You can tell who really truly, is seeking opportunity, and who's really trying to, just get themselves together and work. Sorry about that, y'all. Had a phone call. But you can tell. And when I say all this stuff, I say that, believe me, I say that to say this. Don't be judgmental, because sometimes people do really need somebody to kind of help them out. Sometimes people do really need somebody to kind of help them out. Don't always look so much into the slang or to the words that they're using. Look at body language, listen to tone, and watch their whole demeanor. Because they really could be, that's just the way they speak. That's just the way they talk. But they could be one of the smartest people that you ever hired. So when I was laughing earlier, I truly meant what I said. Some of them come in there with that. But along with that is the attitude, So if you have someone coming in and they, even if they do say B, C, U, Z, and like we said, I'm going to have my own job because I can. Even if they say that. Sometimes it takes a lot to, to create a diamond, But sometimes there's something about them, and you can tell. Maybe we can work with them a little bit. We'll start them out in the back, having them to, you maybe start out on the grill or something like that. Then hopefully they can move into the direction of becoming a lead cook. Because believe it or not, in restaurants, you do have people who are on the grill who aren't the lead cook, you know? So lead cooks usually become management. So don't ever look at people, like when you go to McDonald's and Burger King and stuff like that, don't look down on people. You know, look at them, look at them if they present themselves in a way that's just totally ridiculous, then, you don't have to look down on them, but you already know if you're trying to hire somebody, that's not who you want to hire. But you can take, some people are diamonds in the rough. So you can take them, shape them, mold them into some of the best managers your company's ever had. So when it comes to the slang, don't completely rule them out because of the way that they talk. Because some people, you have a lot of us who don't use the correct English, subject verb agreement, don't know when to say to who or to whom. You have a lot of that. But it's more about them using that type of language and then having a poor demeanor. Like just a ridiculous. It's having just a demeanor that's just wild and crazy and unnecessary. So just like I always say, listen to an old person teach a young one something. And, vice versa, we can listen to young people and they can teach us something. We can teach older people something. You just have to pay attention to a person's demeanor. You have to pay attention to a person's demeanor and the way that they carry themselves. Because, like, again, somebody can come in there dressed to the nines, dressed exactly the way they should be dressed to get a job. But when you converse with them, you may be like, wait. Don't count them out. Don't count them out. Because there is something that shows that they do have character. There's something they've been taught something. They know something. They've learned something because they came to the interview dressed appropriately. It just depends, y'all. It just depends. This generation right now, and like we say, it's not just the generation. It's not the young people. It's people in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s. Sometimes you wonder, what are they teaching? What are they teaching their kids? Like, what are they teaching their kids? And it's not to criticize or be judgmental at all, because I always tell y'all that as human beings, we have to learn to accept our flaws. Oftentimes it takes us a while. It takes some of us a while. And some of us know off the bat. And I always tell y'all, what is one of my biggest flaws? I'm not very patient at all. And because I'm not patient, when I see somebody doing something that foolishly affects me, I'm done. Because I don't want to have to come out of the impatient bag. Impatience. It's just, patience is a flaw. I would like to develop more patience. And I have developed more patience. I have developed more patience. So we have to recognize our own flaws before we become so judgmental or so hypocritical towards other people. We have to recognize our own flaws. And, why not be a help to somebody? If you see something that a person could stand to, need a little bit of help with, help them. Help them, because we're not perfect. We need help sometimes. Sometimes, we need help. Sometimes we're doing something we think is right and it's not. Y'all look at that. All these balloons. Look at that bumblebee. Boy, if I had a jar, I'd catch that bumblebee. Look at him. Look at him. He's a big one, y'all. Look at him. He's a big one. He getting something up out of there. I thought I saw more. I thought I saw more, but here's a big one. So yes, it is funny when you talk about the way people will show up to a job interview, the way people will show up to church. But never take a blanket and just, never have a blanket perspective of what they have going on. Never just take everybody and say, well, she's dressed like that. She doesn't want any better. He's dressed like that. He doesn't want any better. Don't do that. Because a lot of times people do want better. Most people want the best for themselves. You know, sometimes it's just, you never know what people have been through to make them the way that they are. So sometimes they need a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of motivation. Like sometimes you just don't have the motivation. And sometimes if you see that person just doesn't seem motivated, try to motivate them. Try to motivate them. Try to motivate them. Try to tell them, don't be discouraged because you've gone on 10 job interviews and no one has called back. How did you go to that job interview? How did you present yourself? What did you wear? How were your dreads? A lot of times people do have this issue a lot. For those, of us who wear dreads and braids, sometimes we often encounter those issues, but those issues are a result of prejudices that society has. But then I've seen some people work at some of the best jobs, most professional jobs. They had dreads, they had braids, but guess what? They were neat. They were neatly done. They were well groomed. They weren't just all over the place. That's just like a race who typically doesn't wear dreads. If they go to work with their hair all over the place, like they just rolled out of bed, I don't think they're going to do too good on the interview either. At least they shouldn't. I don't think they're going to do too good on the interview either. At least they shouldn't. If we're going to be fair about it, they shouldn't. You can't judge people on things such as their ethnicity and their race. But a lot of times jobs do. Just to be completely honest about it, a lot of times jobs do. So, yes, never let someone dictate to you who you are. If that job doesn't want you to wear dreads or braids, and you know that your dreads or your braids were neatly done, then that may not be the job for you, because that is an expression of you. That's an expression of you. You can wear your braids, your dreads, just as much as the girl sitting at the desk when you went in has a ponytail pulled back. It's just, to me, it's about neatness. When people start to bother people about their hair, then yeah, I feel like there's some ethnicity, maybe some racial conflict. Because as long as a person is neatly dressed, neatly groomed, well groomed, then it doesn't matter how their hair should be. Just like it shouldn't matter that a person goes in with a fro. As long as it's well groomed, it's not dirty, it's not smelly. Same way as a person with typically straight hair. If they go in there and it's all over their head, then you're probably not going to get a call back either. So yours needs to be well groomed too. So sometimes there are a lot of double standards when people are out. Yes, Sassy. Sometimes it's like there are a lot of double standards when people are trying to, get a job, or not even get a job. Like you could just be out bowling or something. Like you could be, and it's just, hello. You could just be out bowling or something like that. And because you have dreads, you talk a certain way, people want to put a label on you. They want to stereotype you. Well, I don't care what color you are, what race you are. Most of us talk a certain way at work or on the job or in a professional setting, and we talk differently at home. We talk differently at home amongst family and friends. Because we're more comfortable. We're more comfortable. We're more comfortable talking however we talk. And it's sad to say, but you do kind of have to know when to speak a certain way and in what situation. Because I'm not going to lie to you, I don't want to go somewhere and I need customer service and this person is talking to me like, I don't know, like, you can talk to me like we've known each other for years. I mean, I think that's being very, that's a good thing. That can be a good thing. But don't talk to me like, I guess what I would say is kind of disrespectful. Because some people really do. They go to work, y'all, and they're so disrespectful. I don't even know any other way to just say it. Like, they're just totally disrespectful. Like, if the supervisor says, I need you to, those clothes over there, that family just went through those clothes. Now they're all over the place. So if the supervisor says, can you go over there and straighten those clothes up? Of course you don't want to do it. Heck, I wouldn't want to do it because they were old enough to know better. It's probably a group of, I'm not going to even put it on kids, could have been a group of adults. Been a husband and a wife. Could have been two sisters. Could have been two friends. They knew better. They went over there and they just ruffled all the clothes up, unfolded the clothes. Y'all know how they have the clothes folded and stuff when you go into the store. And then when they were done, they didn't even try to, put things back. And so now you got to go over there and do it. Now, that said, no. Do you want to do it? No. But do you mouth off at the supervisor? No. That's their job. Their job is to make sure that department store looks good at all times. Even though customers come through and mess it up, like they're the only ones who has to look at it. Well, guess what? Other customers want to come through, and you want it to be presentable for them. And so if you're employed there, that's what you're supposed to do. But a lot of times people get jobs and they don't want the supervisors to tell them a thing. I've never understood that. Like, you have some supervisors, of course, they can be butt heads. They can be crazy. They can be, y'all know how it is. Sometimes you have good supervisors. Sometimes you have bad supervisors. So sometimes they're not really so much that they're bad, but they may not really have people skills, or they just may not know how to address you. So those are the supervisors you truly really don't like working for. But at the end of the day, as long as that supervisor is not telling you to do something to harm you or anyone else, or that's outside of the scope of your job, they aren't telling you to do anything that'll cause you to get in trouble, then you're supposed to do it. Like, they're a supervisor for a reason. You may not feel like they deserve to be, but they are. So if they say go, and I'm talking about something as simple as straighten up clothes, y'all. I've seen people, I've been in malls or department stores or boutiques, and the management or the owner will say, hey, so-and-so, go over there, those clothes are all over the place. And y'all, the body language, the facial expression that they give that supervisor or even give that owner, it's ridiculous. They don't want to do it. Okay, so if you don't straighten up the clothes, then what are you here to do? What are you here to do? So they feel like they're just there to stand at the register. And if someone comes along, then they're there to ring them up, and that's it. When we all know that if you work in a department store or whatever, you're there to maybe ring up customers. You're there to keep everything nice and neat. You're there to even clean up. If they don't have janitors, then you're there. Somebody's going to be, like I said earlier, somebody's going to be assigned the bathrooms. Somebody's going to be assigned sweep and mop the floors. So, especially if they tell you this during the interview, and even if they don't tell you during the interview, if they don't tell you and you're like, I didn't sign up for this, then hey, that means you maybe need to seek other employment. But if they tell you this during the interview, then why do you have an attitude when the supervisor supervises? Right, Sassy, you're there to do your job. Like, why do you have an attitude when the supervisor is supervising? They're telling you to do what you were employed to do. So do it. How do you think that person probably became a supervisor? Is there nepotism? Yes, there is a degree of nepotism everywhere. Because I'm going to tell you, if you have a business or if you have pull in a business, are you going to hire some of your family and friends? Of course you are. You're going to try to hire the ones that you know will be dedicated to doing their work like everybody else. But, that's just a part of, that's the good side to owning a business or being in management. Some jobs don't allow you to hire family. But if they do, then are you going to hire a few of your family members if they're down on their luck and they're looking for a job? Of course you are. The ones that you know who are dependable. So nepotism, yes, it exists. And it can be a good thing. It can help to employ more, a lot of people. But, a lot of times that's even an issue on the job. People are like, oh, they hired their niece and their nephew and they don't make them do anything. And that could be true, but a lot of times that's not the truth. A lot of times other people will say that because they're mad because of what they've been assigned to do. They're mad because of what they've been assigned to do. They'll say you hired your niece or your nephew and you don't make them do anything. And you always got me doing this and you always got me doing that. Again, as long as it's within your scope, as long as it's within the scope of responsibilities that you have, then just do it. Now, that being said, you do have to have, supervisors need to be on top of their game too. Don't put the same person on the bathroom every day that they work. Come on now. Don't do that. Don't put the same person on the bathrooms every day that they work. Don't put the same person on the floors sweeping and mopping every day that they work. Unless they like it, unless that's what they want to do. So, I think people skills. It all boils down to people skills. People skills, communication skills, having good communication skills and having good people skills. And even if you have good communication skills, it doesn't mean that the person you have to communicate with will have them. It doesn't. Sassy says, you got some misleading supervisors too. So it works both ways. You can be a good worker, but still have to deal with bad bosses. Yep. That's why I was saying, like, you gotta allow the supervisor to supervise, but supervisors, you've got to know what you're doing. You've got to know what you're doing. And you can't, a lot of times, like on the jobs, people hold grudges. I mean, you have one falling out because we're human. You're gonna have a spat or two with somebody on your job. At some point, that may happen. Sometimes you may have those people who never get into it with anybody because don't underestimate them. Don't underestimate them. They make sure that they don't get into it with somebody because that could be a bad thing. Especially when you have people who are kind of picky. Some people just pick. And it's like, or they'll see that she never like pushes back, or he never pushes back. He never does this or that. Again, as long as they're doing what's within the scope of their job, they're not going to push back because it has to be done. But if you keep picking, you might come to find out that there was a reason that they were so quiet. You might find out that there was a reason that they were so quiet. But again, you have to allow supervisors to supervise. And supervisors, you have to be fair about your supervision. And we all make mistakes. So, nobody's going to be perfect. The employee or the supervisor, the employee or the boss. Nobody's going to be perfect, absolutely perfect. We all make mistakes. And that's why I say it all boils down to having good communication skills. Some people have them, some people don't. Some people will care to improve on them, some people won't. But it all boils down to good communication skills. And y'all, I'm gonna tell you something about communication. Sometimes the best form of communication is silence. Sometimes on some of these jobs or just in life in general, the best form of communication is silence. A lot of times it's silence, especially when the person who you should be communicating with, as long as they're opening their mouths, sometimes you don't have to say a word. Sometimes you don't have to say a word. You don't have to say a word. And so, as we get older, and even some young people who are, have a great deal of discernment, very knowledgeable for their ages, they know. It's like my parents and grandparents used to tell me, and it's just the old saying: you keep arguing with somebody long enough, a stranger walks up and they can't tell who's the fool. You know? So just let them talk, and you be silent, or you say just enough and let them do their thing, which will usually be more than enough, more than enough to show that they're wacky. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And then you can sit back and laugh and be like, thank you. You can really sit back and tell them, thank you. Thank you for showing them what I'm dealing with. So that's why I say patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. That was my thing. Very impatient, temper short. But then when I start to realize how much you can make, you're not making them look like a fool, but how much silence or barely addressing the situation can prove how weird and wacko something else or somebody else is, that helped me work on my patience as well. They helped me to work on my patience as well. A lot of times, all you gotta do is sit back. Like, sit back and pay attention. And sometimes you don't even have to sit back and wait for it. The signs have already been there anyway. And you try to be like understanding, So sometimes the signs have already been there. So you don't really have to sit back. So communication, good communication, being able to communicate effectively is a great skill to have. And a lot of people don't have it. Sassy says it's best to do your job, mind your own business, make your money, and go home. Right, right. Yep, exactly. Do your job, mind your own business, make your money, and go home. Yep. Do your own job, mind your business, make your money, and go home. DMMG. Do all of those things, and more times than not, you're good to go. You're good to go. Yep, that's the truth. I mean, that is so true. That is so true. Yep. Do your job, make your money, mind your business, and make your money, go home. And do it again the next day until you get your day off. But yep. So my patience, yes, they are still very short. That's why I don't try to go back and forth a lot. Unless it's something that's really, really worth it. Unless there's something that's really, really worthwhile to go back and forth about. Unless there's a point that really got missed, and things can just go completely haywire because a point got missed, or something got misinterpreted, or something got misunderstood. But other than that, who has time to do that? You want to go back and forth like that? Do it with somebody you love. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Do it with family. Because those are the only people, family and close friends. Those are the only people who are worth that energy. You know, those are the only people worth that amount of energy. Truth be told, and honestly speaking, truly speaking, why go back and forth with someone you don't know? Why go back and forth with someone you know of? Use that energy at home. Use that energy with your friends. They're worth it. Those relationships are worth it. Shoot. I can remember, like I think I told y'all before, my great granddaddy especially, he would be like, why y'all talking to each other like that? You don't talk to people out in the street like that. And I thought about it, and I was like, right, granddaddy, why are we fussing with each other? But then, truth, to be honest, if I'm going to fuss with somebody and spend all that energy, I want it to be somebody close to me. Because it's most likely going to be for a good reason. I love them. They love me. I don't want to be with somebody who doesn't care anything about me. Somebody going through their crap. Like we said, the misery lounge. People will pull you into the misery lounge. Misery loves company. And 9 times out of 10, they seek the person who has least attempted to harm them, to try to make those people miserable. They choose someone the people who have tried to harm them the least. Those are the people who they choose to try to pull into the misery lounge. Nah, you stay over there in the misery lounge and leave everybody else alone. Or if you want to pull somebody into the misery lounge, pull somebody into the misery lounge who likes misery like you. Because misery likes company. All company isn't miserable, but misery likes company. You know? So if you find yourself in the midst of somebody who loves misery, remove yourself from that situation. That's company you don't want to keep. That's company you don't want to keep. You don't want to keep that company at all. So it's been an hour, y'all. Right at an hour. So y'all know what time it is on this magnificent Monday, this marvelous Monday. I hope you guys have had a great Monday. I hope whether you went to work, whether you stayed home, whatever it is that you did today, I hope that this Monday was marvelous for you. I hope that it was magnificent. There's still some of this Monday left. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Okay? Take advantage of it. And you know what I say. Peace, positivity, and prosperity. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't be positive or you don't have to be. Tell them you know that. But tell them they prefer you to be. Okay? Tell them that they prefer you to be. Because if there's no peace, there's chaos. And if you're not positive, you're negative. And anywhere negativity and chaos live, you fail to prosper to your fullest potential. And sometimes that's what people want. They want you over in the misery lounge so that you can fail to prosper like they are. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go to that lounge, y'all. Don't go over in the misery lounge. Don't go to the misery lounge. Stay in the happy place. Stay in the happy lounge, okay? Don't go to the misery lounge. And even if you're in a lounge that's not happy, still, don't go to the misery lounge, okay? You may be in the lounge where it's the rough day lounge. You need a breather. You need a drink. You need something. The drink doesn't have to be spirits. It could be caffeine. You need a drink, okay? So just try to stay out of the misery lounge. All right? Sassy. All right, y'all. Peace, positivity, and prosperity. Don't let people bother you. And don't leave this app or any app, whatever color it is, whatever they do on there, don't leave it with more stress than you enter with. You find yourself becoming more stressed out there than before you got there, then leave. Leave. Just leave. Leave. We got enough stress in life, okay? Don't let those who don't mean anything to you stress you out. They'll make you mad. They'll make you mad. They'll stress you. But catch it. Catch it. Catch it. Catch it before it makes your blood pressure go up. Okay? Catch it before you're so mad you're about to cry because you just really want to fight. You know, yeah, sassy, catch it. Catch it. Catch it before it does all that. Because that's their goal. That's the goal of those who have a misery lounge. They want to make you, they want to get your blood pressure up. They want to get your heart rate up in an unhealthy way. They're not going to encourage you to move like we do over here. I'm walking the whole time that I talk to you because the goal of this live and any live that I do is to encourage people to move, to get those joints, to move those joints. Once that cartilage starts to wear down, there's nothing really that you can do besides move. That'll may help. You know, certain machines, you know, technology is something else. So there are certain machines that may help you. Just get up and move. Don't be a couch potato. And don't allow your mind to be a couch potato either. You know, being a couch potato just doesn't apply to the physical. It applies to the mental and the emotional as well. Don't allow your mind to be a couch potato. So I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow about the same time. And I hope if you haven't moved yet, that you get up and move before you go to bed, okay? All right. On that note, I'm going to say bye, y'all. Bye, y'all. Bye, Sassy. Thank you for hanging out with me the whole time. I appreciate it. Y'all check out my mod, Sassy. Check out Girl Dad and any other content creator. Miss Bams, check her out. Who else? Said Girl Dad. I think Gregory hung in here for a minute. I don't know. Sassy, I don't know what Gregory was talking about. I think he was being a little wacky, but he left. Y'all check out Spiky, please. Retirement days, over 50 and fabulous. Please check out those content creators. Good, positive content. Content that matters. Bye, y'all.